Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Carol. I'm a freelance lifestyle journalist who also runs almostdiplomatic.com. It's where I share about my life as a millennial diplomat's wife, the good life on a budget, and currently living in and traveling from Berlin. But wait, stay home first. Travel later. There's a virus. For today's video, we'll be talking about dress codes, those vague yet utterly nerve-wracking things that you usually find at the lower part of the invitation that can usually mean different things in different parts of the world. I know we're not going to a lot of events these days because of the C word. However, I'm pretty sure that once this is all over, all these events will be back, and hopefully this will be useful for you. But if you're someone who wants to watch something else, maybe something about life in Berlin amid the pandemic, then I have a video for you as well. I will be putting a link up in the cards. But if you are interested in dress codes and something that we can look forward to after this whole thing is over, then stick around. Okay, so dress codes. Before we break down each of the common ones, let's talk about why they're important. I believe in dressing up as a sign of good manners. It also shows respect to the host. The dress code imposed at an event is chosen by the people who are hosting it, and one of the best ways to show them that you value their invitation as well as what they're doing is by A, showing them that you actually read what they wrote on the invite, and B, making the effort to dress up appropriately. Throwing an event is a lot of work, and being disrespectful to a host is definitely a no-no. Following the dress code also helps make sure that you do not embarrass yourself the moment you step into the venue. I remember when I was still a TV journalist working in Manila and my beat was foreign affairs. I was invited to a National Day event, and this was happening during the weekday, so the prescribed dress code was actually business casual. So most of us went there in slacks or blazer. It was, pretty easy, especially if you're just coming from work. But one of the guys who arrived was wearing an island-themed polo shirt, some cargo pants that were khaki, and get this, Birkenstocks. So that was pretty weird, and he kind of stood out in the worst way possible. I think the only reason he got away was because he was from the country who was hosting the National Day, and I think he knew some of the diplomats who were there, but that was just really embarrassing. People were looking at him the whole night. Whichever dress code you see is prescribed in the invitation, the first thing that you should ask yourself is where in the world you are right now. Depending on how laid back the people in a certain city or country are, you might have to adjust these dress codes quite a bit. Back home in Manila and even in Kuala Lumpur, which was our previous posting, I noticed that a lot of the ladies tend to get dolled up more compared to laid back European cities like Berlin or even in Scandinavia. So if you're someone who doesn't want to stand out too much, better make sure that you do your research. So casual means that there is no dress code. However, if the invitation is coming from a colleague of my husband's, either from the same embassy or another one, then I make sure to dress up a little bit more professional. Nothing too revealing and nothing too sporty like this. Okay, don't judge because I'm about to get on my Peloton after I film this video. But unless there's gonna be an activity that calls for you to wear something sporty, then maybe skip that one for now. I would normally take this type of dress code as comfortable clothing, but with a professional touch. For women, maybe a simple and comfortable shift dress that is no shorter than 2 inches above the knee. Also, you can finish it off with some ballet flats. For the men, I'll recommend a shirt with a collar, and maybe for the pants, either jeans or some chinos, but I will prefer the chinos, and some loafers. In a nutshell, this is what I'll wear if I had like a corporate job and I had to go to the office every day. If the host of the event is rather traditional, this may come out on the invite as informal wear. For the men, I'd recommend a dress shirt, a seasonal sport coat, some slacks, and leather shoes that are also more on the formal side. Neckties, they are optional for these sorts of events, but since we are talking more of like a diplomatic setting, then it is always better to have one just in case. For the ladies, maybe a sheath dress and some kitten heels. Finish it off with a blazer if it's a little nippy outside. You can also opt for dress pants, and pair it with a trendy top, or something that I like to do myself is a button-down shirt with a skirt, and I give myself plus points when I wear a skirt that's made out of my country's traditional weaving, just so I could rep our culture. Also, yeah, even slacks with a button-down shirt, that could also work. So this is the one people are often quite unsure about. Sometimes I am unsure as well what to wear when I get this on the invitation. And people often find themselves a little bit overdressed or underdressed for this one. So the best way to go about this is do your research. So some things to take into consideration. Again, where in the world are you? Which country? Which city? Are people more laid back? Are people particular about dress codes? What event are you going to? Are you going to like one of the big balls in Vienna where people are particular about dress codes? So double check, are your hosts quite particular? If it's an event that tends to repeat itself, like an annual ball or a national day, then what I'll do is like I'll Google for some of the photos of the event from, let's say, last year and a couple of years before that, and check how people usually dress for such an event. So recommendations. For the men, you will never go wrong with a dark suit, a tie, and dress shoes. For the ladies, a tip as old as time, make sure that you have a couple of little black dresses or LBDs in your closet. They are your perfect go-to for such an event. I usually wear this LBD with some heels and an eye-catching clutch. And I find that these sorts of events are great opportunities to promote our culture and give a nod to my heritage. So I normally add some Filipiniana touches into my outfit, either in my earrings, some jewelry from the Philippines, maybe my clutch will be made in the Philippines, also my shawl or a cover up that I can wear that's made by our weavers. So the possibilities are endless. Honestly, I love to dress up, so this is one of my favorite dress codes ever, because that means I can definitely bring out one of the big guns that I've been saving for such an event. For a lot of diplomatic events, formal and black tie formal can also be an opportunity for you to wear your national dress. Again, just check who your host is and what kind of event it's going to be. But if it's possible, why not? Because it can make for a great icebreaker. While I dream of seeing my husband in a full-on tuxedo, the countries that we have been posted in, or at least the ones where we've been able to attend events with this dress code, have men that are pretty laid back when it comes to dressing up. For the women, a floor-length gown is expected, but let's say you're in a more laid-back country or city, then maybe a dressy or embellished cocktail dress will be just perfectly fine. And of course, you have to wear these with heels and no gloves. And lastly, the white tie event. If, let's say, you get invited to a dinner event or a party with some royalty. For the men, a dress coat with tails, a white shirt, a waistcoat, and of course a white bow tie worn around your standing wingtip collar. You also need formal shoes and the optional gray or white gloves. For the ladies, under no circumstance should you wear a short dress, so go for floor length that's also elegant and classy. So it also used to be mandatory that people will wear white gloves all the way up to their elbows. And nowadays I see some people doing away with that. However, why would you? It's a great chance to wear Disney princess gloves. Go wear those gloves and get those heels, be a Disney princess for a day. Up until this point, we've been discussing dress codes and how they are being applied in these modern times, especially in diplomatic settings. In the next video, I thought I will take you with me on another life in Berlin type of video, and we'll go to a museum here in the city, one of the newest ones actually, and it's called Futurium. I went there a couple of days before they closed the museums here in Berlin to help flatten the curve. And in a few days, they'll be opening them up again, so I thought now might be a good time to bring it out. So do subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to know when it's out. Till then, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!